Okay, Ginny and Jeannie are here. And here's my little singing bowl filled with everyone's name who entered the draw. For Ginny, you had a client of yours who understands your work and understands the value of it, understands the herd. She purchased and donated 2 free sessions for someone who was in need, financial need, and as a way of paying forward the blessings. So we just want to say thank you to her and to you. And do you want to tell us real quick what a session with the herd is like? What's happening?
Well, it's hard to really talk about it because it's never the same twice, that's for sure. But what happens is, firstly, they're called the singing horse herd for a reason. They sing. And they sing at a much higher level than their embodied personality self, horse self. They sing at their soul level. And when they sing, different people perceive it different ways. Some people might perceive bands of energy, blue energy, different colors, energy clouds, or they hear tones. For me, I hear the Leonard Cohen song, Hallelujah.
Love it.
So if I'm hearing the chorus, Hallelujah, over and over, I know they're still singing. Or if I start to chat, one of the horses will turn to the camera and say, we're still singing. So they put me in check. But what happens is they give messages.
Mm.
And it's very similar to the way I work. In your energy field, there is a specific energy. Your higher self is saying that it's time for you to be aware of this. You know, some of us ancient souls on the planet, we have some pretty crystallized patterns in our field. And when the horses sing, it begins to dissolve the patterns. And what they're doing is they're bringing forth a vibration or a frequency that helps us to remember that we can actually achieve that frequency. But in our forgetfulness, we don't recognize that. We are not necessarily generating that on a daily basis. And so to hear it from the outside triggers the memories that we actually do have that inside of us as well. And it's really amazing. Again, it's never the same session twice. They give beautiful messages, things we would have no way of knowing about the people. And everyone has just been blown away with these new, as the horses call them, wisdom sessions with the herd.
And so, just to clarify, because when a lot of people think about equine assisted healing or equine assisted learning or animal communication, they might think, oh, well, I'm going to ask about, my dog who died, or I want to ask about. That's not what this is. This is next level. This is about your soul and the issues of your soul, the healing of your soul, the evolution of your soul. Is there any particular way you have of describing to people what is the difference between, your standard animal communicator or psychic session and what you're doing with the singing horse herd?
Well, it's definitely not superficial. And although it often correlates, the information often correlates to struggles one is having in their life or has had for their entire life or remembers having over multiple lifetimes, we're talking about a very refined energy that exists in the soul star chakra and in the etheric template. That DNA that the soul brings in and lays over your ancestral and genetic DNA. Now, that's not to say that your ancestral and genetic DNA cannot be healed or reorganized or repatterned in a session, because it absolutely can. But what is happening is they are allowing people to perceive what they might have struggled to perceive before. Many of us, and I count myself among them, you may as well, Jeannie, have had lifetimes that we have looked away from, parts of us that we have walled ourselves off from, things that we've done in the past that we struggle at some level, at least the third density or fourth density level, to forgive ourselves for. And so it's information that comes in at the soul level from the higher self to say, guys, you've learned this lesson many times over. You don't have to keep suffering. You don't have to keep learning this lesson. And if you release these patterns, you can embody more of your soul. Your soul can turn on your third strand of DNA, eventually your fourth. That means your physical body can heal. And that means our entire perspective of life can change. So it's not necessarily a healing where you come forward and say, relationship problems, career problems, it's much more a spiritual level issue, but it trickles down and integrates into our entire life, shifting the entire foundation upon which our lives are built.
I love it. And I didn't even think about their singing in the way that you just described, but it makes perfect sense because light and sound, I mean, we're already using sound here in day-to-day humanity to affect healing, or to, blast apart gallstones or to affect various physical structures. So of course, the singing, the sound at the frequency layer would be just amazing and powerful and must be an amazing space to be in when it's happening. So,
and the horses are anxious, as you know, Jeannie, to work with healers and teachers and influencers. And my understanding in working with them is that they are bringing in higher frequencies and anchoring in higher frequencies in order to support the evolution of humanity. Yes. And they are very eager to work with individual people who truly are on a path of self-awareness, self-responsibility, energetic awareness, and evolution, in order that each individual person can embody their soul and embody these frequencies, and each of us not only become a beacon of light, but an anchor of this light and these frequencies on the earth. Many of us have these soul agreements, hundreds of millions of us have these soul agreements at this time. And this is what they're doing, is their gift to humanity is their song and their frequency that they are anchoring. Now, each of them has an individual personality and individual perspectives and individual abilities that they share. And you're very good at talking about that as well. Some of them work with the earth and with nature, and some work very much with mothers and feminine energy, and some work with masculine energy or children. Mm-hmm. So every single session is different depending upon the individual person.
Yes, and the priorities of their soul and what's going to be called forth. I love it. Thank you, Ginny, so much. That's a great explanation of what a private session with you and the Singing Horse Herd entails. And so on that information and frequency, let us do the draw for everyone who entered. Give a little gong. I'm not looking. I'm just going to let my hands find something. Oh. Okay. We have Jai Sequoia. There we go. Congratulations. I think your name is Jai. It could be Jay, but I'm going to go with Jai because I'm Indian. And thank you. We will be emailing you as well to let you know. So that is the first session. All right. And here we go. The second free session with Ginny and the Singing Horse Herd. Oh, okay. I can't look because these have gotten stuck together. So I'm just, you know what? I'm going to throw them back in and do it again. Okay. And the second session, Emily McDonald. And Emily, I know, is in the UK and Jai is in Canada. So that's what came forward. We'll be emailing you both. Thank you, Ginny, for for doing this great service for humanity, for the planet. We honor you, and we're so happy to have you working with the herd.
Thank you, Jeannie, and thank you for being their caretaker. And it's been many years that you've been gathering these incredible souls and making it possible. So thank you.
So if you'd like to experience a private session with Ginny and the herd, or you'd like to experience a group wisdom retreat with Ginny and the herd, just head on over to listentoyourhorse.com. Looking forward to working with each of you in whichever way feels right for you.